Hello everyone, how are things going? As is, we are back, and thank you for the subscribe on YouTube, The Casual Gamer. Mike, you there? Can you hear me?
Oh,
Unmuted
it's
you.
sort of behaving now after you unmuted me, but it's still really horrible audio quality.
Yeah, I'm having some problems on my possibly. I don't know exactly what's going on. I know the music was sort of like cutting in and out. It's probably because I'm overloading my internet connection with all live streaming shit going on. And as I said, oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a message on OBS. Encoding overloaded. Yes, I am overloading my computer right now. Surprisingly.
Yeah, let's try to close down some stuff running in the background.
I can't close down stuff, Mike.
There's got to be something that.
Okay. Anyway, continuing on with this, there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can do. Oh, you know what? Let me double check one last thing. It should be. Is it the stream output general video?
It's behaving now. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. As I said, yep. That's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, okay. Yeah. So, as I said, I got as much shutdown as I can have at the moment. So, anyway. Welcome, everyone, to another day of strategic non-compliance. So, oh, give me a second here. I'm also trying to fix something up on my announcements here. Mike, why don't you go ahead and start off the day with some of the stuff you wanted to talk about?
Sure, I have very happy news. Well, if people are following local cop watching here in Portland, they're aware of the fact that Uncle Bob and Christopher Ryan Ponte and a few others have been visiting high-ranking law enforcement officers' houses and district attorneys' houses to, do what corporate media does. You go and knock on their door and you ask them questions. It's a First Amendment right. It's something that's covered under journalism. And few months back, Christopher Ponte of the Oregon Cop Watcher, you can check out his stuff on YouTube and Facebook if you want. But I love Chris. He's a great guy. Well, he went and knocked on our assistant district attorney's house and knocked on the guy's door. The guy wasn't home. And that was that. Bob and Chris published their videos a couple days later. And they tried to charge Chris with criminal trespass. Now, as you're well aware of, because you're facing a similar charge there, Mr. Boots, criminal trespass, you have to be told to leave and then come back, or there has to be a posted sign with the ORS on it saying that it's no trespassing, and you have to violate that sign, and none of those things were done by Chris. Well, I was disheartened to know that yesterday during jury selection that all but 3 of the jury pool were either former law enforcement for Chris's case, or active law enforcement, or someone who has a cop in their immediate family. And we learned that by the questions that were asked by Chris's defense attorney. So I thought he was going to get railroaded. But I just got word a couple hours ago that Chris was acquitted for his trespassing charge for daring to knock on our assistant district attorney's door to ask him questions. And that's really awesome. So, out of the 6 jurors that were finally chosen, all but one of them were either former law enforcement, active law enforcement, or a family member. And they still, with a stacked jury like that, still acquitted Chris. So, that's a really great thing. I'm really happy to announce that Chris is acquitted for his trespassing charge. I mean, we knew he was innocent of trespassing in the first place. But, that's the first news item that I wanted to point out. And the second thing is I'd like to talk about the guests we're going to have on. It's going to be Laura Shark, the female cop watcher from out in the LA way. And I'm really excited about having her on. Not to be misunderstood, but I love her balls. She's got brass ones. I love the fact that when cops try to intimidate her, she's very underwhelmed and unimpressed by them. She just shot me a message through Messenger here. So she should be on in a little while. But if you guys want to check out Laura Shark's work, you can click on the link underneath this video in the live stream after the stream ends. But I'm excited about having her on. She's done some stuff that I'm jealous about. I'm a little butthurt. You know, envious of her because she went out to Texas and she actually got to go out cop watching with the Batosai. And, you know, I'm jealous.
When did that happen? I didn't hear about that.
It's on her channel. You can just go scan through her videos, and there's videos of her cop watching with Batosi. You know,
you got dollars coming in. You got dollars coming in.
Oh, holla holla! Thank you for the nice folks out there throwing some. Whoever that is, I'm unable to monitor my super chat, but whoever that is, heartfelt thank you.
Appreciate your being out there.
But anywho, yeah, she's.
Thumbs up.
I had an opportunity to go out cop watching with the Batosi or Philip Turner a couple of years back, and he said he was interested, but like, you know, we got our wires crossed, and he had other stuff that he had to do. So, you know, I'm envious of Laura in that regard. But let me text her back and tell her that.
All right. Well, I'm also go ahead and do my little quick update just to give you guys a heads up. I'm not needing any more monetary support. Thank you everybody that has thrown donations at me. Someone has helped greatly. I have a camcorder, a battery pack coming in, and a memory card for that camcorder to finish getting me up online. I went and got a really cheap smartphone yesterday, which will allow me to get back into live streaming. So Saturday, we're looking at another Saturday night cop watching bar hopping night. So, Bunny Boots, can you talk about the cops taking phone and cameras? Well, maybe we'll do a little bit. I'll cover a little bit that while we're going through stuff and waiting for Laura Shark to get here. Also, I wanted to comment and let everybody know I have received my court date in the mail, and my court date is May 25th, 2018 at 9:30 a.m. at the Springfield Municipal Courthouse, which is the same place where I was jailed and holds the police department, from what I understand. So that. I will see about trying to have, if anybody wants to show up and help, like, record it or something like that, or do press coverage, I'm going to try to put in paperwork for that. As is, I've also been given information from my court-appointed attorney. I have tried to reach out to them earlier today. Only left a voicemail. I haven't had them get back with me, so hopefully a little bit later this week I'll have a chance to talk with them, and I'll give you my take on what I suspect this is going to be like for the rest of the case, of what I feel like is going to be viable and all that stuff. You got something to add in, Mike? Or
No. Just Laura said that she's gonna be on very soon. She's gonna click on the link.
She's already in here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I thought I thought it was you for a second. Then I had to pop up the Hangouts window, and sure enough, she's already in here.
Yep, I hear. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, first of all, I'd like to say welcome, Laura, and thank you so much for coming on. And I have mad respect for what you do. I've been watching your stuff for at least a year. Like, you've been on my radar. Like, I love your balls, and I don't want to creep you out, but like, you know, I know you're a chick. Yeah, your non-existent balls are just amazing. You got big brass ones. I love the fact that you don't allow yourself to be intimidated, and I'm just excited to have you on and talk to you.
For sure, I'm excited to be here. Is there a way to see like the chat while I'm on this, or?
How should I put it? The chat is sort of disconjointed from mine because I'm live streaming to 4 different platforms. Mike Bluehair's chat shouldn't be too hard. You just log in to look at his live stream on
yeah, I was
YouTube.
thinking that, but I just don't want them to like the audio from that to interfere with my audio.
Yeah, that's not gonna mess with anything. Hangouts is a completely separate program from what we got going on the live streaming. So if something happens, it's just gonna, it will play on our end. It's not gonna blast out your ears unless you're actually listening to the thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to open that just because I want to see.
Yeah, if you just open it and mute the audio, you can just read the chat off there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty much what when I need to look at Mike Bluehair's chat box outside of what I got set up right now. I just mute his video.
I got it. Okay, so I can see the chat now too. Or actually, it's quite small. But, oh wait, here it is. All right, I'm good. Sorry. So yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah. Let me address something real fast. Thank you, Derek Reeves, for getting me a camera. Maybe hold on to that, or get a hold. I think Time to Stand Jersey Style. She might need a camera. I think I heard something about her phone getting confiscated, but make sure she's got everything that she needs to at least work with that if she has that. But get with me on Discord a little bit later on, and we'll hash out what we could possibly do about that. I had a really great contributor throw a bunch of money at me, and I was able last night to throw down on a camera and get that shipped out, and it'll be here tomorrow. It should be here by Friday. So, on that aspect.
What's her name? Is she new? Is she a new channel?
She's somewhat new. She's been around for about 9 months, I think. She's been active over on over in New Jersey, and doing First Amendment tests and stuff like that. And cool. She's been up against quite a bit over there.
I hadn't heard of her channel, but I'm always supportive of the female audit cop watchers.
Yeah, she more or less does more stuff on Facebook than YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why you probably are not familiar. As is, I don't really pay attention to the people that are on Facebook. So outside of whatever the hell I'm stirring up drama in, so.
Okay.
Oh my god! Oh, I got to mention a couple things. We have Desert Sentinel watching and Derek Ribbies, and I just have to say thank you to. Okay, Jolly Dickster just hooked me up with a that's a funny name. Hooked me up with $5 through Super Chat. But yeah, Foxy's on, so she's watching your buddy there, your friend Foxy.
Oh yeah, I see her in the chat too. Yeah, but for those that are wanting to ask questions, get them figured out, and I'm gonna set up a point in the interview here that we got going on where I'm gonna start taking questions for the audience. And when I start posing that, that's when you guys will have a chance to be able to ask, and we'll pose those to Laura Shark here. So this way you'll be able to have that fun Q&A and participate in all this stuff. But Mike, why don't you go ahead and get this started?
Sure. So I've gotten the the flattery out of the way, and complimenting you on your testicular fortitude, and now let's get into it. Like. The whole cop watching game is mostly, a sausage fest, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious, like, how the police react to women doing this, like the major differences that you observe, between the way that women are dealt with as opposed to men. So that's the first question for you.
Well, and I know, in my opinion, like, I know people think that they're a lot nicer to me and Foxy, because Foxy and I, did a lot of the cop watching together for a while. And I don't know if they are. I know that the women cops are not nicer. They are, like, strategically, like, bitchier. I don't know. I don't know if it's they think that they can get away with it because they're, it's equal or both chicks, but I find them to be worse. But I don't know if they're nicer to me. I think that I just have a different relationship with them at this point, like, and my style of, cop watching hasn't been too aggressive. I know that they know that I made complaints, like, the port police, they basically kind of avoid me-ish, like talking to me wise, like at this point, because they're so butthurt. But, I think it's just my style and how inviting I am, or, what I say to them. But I don't think they're any like nicer to me per se. They don't like the concept, a girl doing it, a guy doing it, anybody doing it. So
right on. So you feel that you probably get just as much shit.
Yeah, if I had a different style, like some that get more attitudes, or give more, I don't know. I think that I would probably receive the same, aggression from the cops if I was certain ways. But we shall see.
So what about the cop sucker effect? Because honestly, through my 7 years of doing this, I have been spit on, kicked, shoved. I've had stuff thrown at me out of car windows. I've been cussed out. by cop suckers, people that feel the need to defend the cops, even though I'm being objective. Most of the time, I'm just standing there quietly filming, and I'll get literally attacked by these people.
Right.
And I've had more assaults from just regular folks and trouble than I've had from cops. And I'm wondering, as a woman, do you get the cop suckers doing that same kind of stuff to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely got the peanut gallery behind me. It's sometimes like, what is she doing? Like, what's going on? I mean, it's gotten to the point where sometimes I will either talk to them while I'm recording. Usually I try to wait till afterwards. And even, I mean, especially the person that I'm recording, because they seem to be really like shocked by my recording them. They get all private, you know, whatever. They act like, why is she recording me? I actually get more problems from the person I'm recording and protecting, in my opinion, than the ones, you know, the outside peanut gallery. But I will take the time afterwards to give them my card or something and explain to them what I'm doing. And sometimes they'll be chill. And then sometimes they just stick to their guns. But I haven't had any thing thrown at me yet. You know, I just.
Well, that's good. You know, yeah, wait, you know, it'll happen.
Mark and I have been yelled at, like, you know, maybe they're from a distance, so they're being punks, you know, they're being pussies, like far away and like saying something obscene or something, but that doesn't bother me. So they're just words.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, and I personally like how the cops, you know, think it's funny. They won't defend me at all. They'll just be like, oh yeah, go get her, you know, like stick 'em, boys. And I like to thank them for that, you know, on occasion. I'll be like, yeah, thanks, serve and protect, not me, whatever. Okay, cool. No, that's fine. I don't need you.
yeah, like that's something that I've encountered as well, is that people either trying to fight us or push us or attack us. Or I've uploaded a video from Bob's channel called Portland Police Bureau There Will Be Blood, and in it is the content of the video has a guy that the police are calling by name. They call him Brandon by name. And Brandon says he's talking in like some sort of a you know, Ebonic talk or whatever, you know, although I think Brandon's a white kid. But anywho, he pulls up his shirt and says, I'll take this gun right here and you know, I'm gonna effing kill you. He says that, and the cops are calling him Brandon by name. And you know, we actually go in and file a complaint with a sergeant saying this man tried to murder or threatened to murder Bob in front of officers, and the officers called him by name. You know, we filed a complaint, and the police said they didn't have enough evidence to prove that a crime occurred. Yeah. So from our perspective, like,
it's okay.
Yeah,
I don't go in assuming that they're going to have my back anyway. So
right. But have you experienced that same kind of phenomenon where the police treat you as if though you've divorced yourself?
I don't apply to their protection, or I'm not deserving. Yeah, I mean, I've had some say, you know, basically say, oh, well, you'll need us one day, and then I'm like, no, I won't, you know, but in my mind, I'm thinking, and then what? I need you, and then what? What are you gonna do? So, I mean, because from my experience, I don't know if it's they just find it funny, they really don't care. I'm not sure, but they leave me to defend myself, which actually I'm okay with, because I'm not looking for them to be my hero or anything, not like they would be, but like, I don't know. Yeah, they definitely find it amusing in my cases, you know, like, oh yeah, no. But actually, most recently, you know, I needed to backstep a little bit. Most recently, I've noticed the cops have been a little more vocal on, oh no, she can do it. It's her right, her First Amendment right, blah, 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 blah. We can't stop her, which I love. You know, I'm like, nope, you can't. And so, I mean, I just forgot, because like in the last couple of videos I did hear, they have been saying that. I know they're playing it up for the camera though, so I know they don't really believe that, I guess.
Well, I think you're getting to that threshold then to where, you know, at first they'll try to discourage you, and then they'll tolerate you. You know, I think there's different levels that a cop watcher goes through when they start doing it on the regular. At first, they tried to intimidate me, and then they tried laughing at me, and then they, you know, now I'm at the point to where I'm just part of the background, and they know that the video will go good if they don't engage me and don't violate anyone's rights, and it'll go really horribly wrong.
That's the secret, you know. Just shut up and be quiet, and you won't be a star. Okay, that's the biggest secret that they need to, like, you know, either get with it or you know. But there are a lot of them that want to be stars, so I mean, they love the attention. I mean, there are those, So
Yeah, have you encountered like the
the
narcissist
ham.
cop that plays to the camera? Like, let's talk about that a bit.
Foxy and I have had some super hams for the camera. I mean, LAPD Harbor Division has such a. I feel like it's like kind of a cess like pot where they come and go a lot more often than maybe in other stations. I don't know if it's like but I've had one I guess I want to say like three solids that love the camera, love it. They just ham it up. Hey Lloyd, da da da. Tell me, I said, did you want to know what happened? And they ham it up. Like I don't know if it's like part distraction so that the other cops, I don't see what's going on behind them, but they definitely like Martinez. I don't know if Foxy's still here, but Officer Martinez is on the top of my mind for the love of the stardom. I mean, and then Duel. I have Officer Duel. Like he hates the camera, but part of me thinks he's starting to try to figure out his edge or something.
Now, what's the officer's duo?
Duel.
Duel.
Duel the Tool.
Duel the Tool. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any highlights, or what is some of the most enjoyable or gratifying things you've done as a cop watcher so far?
So the reason like I do it, I mean, I'm gonna answer your question, but the reason I do it is because I don't feel like people are aware of like their rights, and I know some people will cringe at that, but I feel like people just kind of, I mean, the police are supposed to protect your rights, but they're the first ones to violate. So my biggest joy out of it is when I'm able to enlighten somebody like in the public, whether it be the person I'm recording that's been stopped or whatever, or even just bystanders that are like curious to know what I'm doing. I enjoy enlightening people to the fact that they don't have to talk, the whole rundown, like they don't have to talk to the police. And I mean, I'll get more detailed depending on the situation, about what people do and don't and do have to do. But like, I mean, I just sit there in awe, like, wow, the violations, I mean, minor as they may seem, they add up, and I enjoyed the time that Foxy and I went and we warned all the people when they were giving them tickets on a holiday or something, just stuff like that. Because that's why I do it. I mean, I'm trying to be a service, so to speak,
So it's a community service thing for you, yeah?
I mean, basically, I just feel like all up till like 2 years ago, I was in the dark. Like, I didn't realize a lot of this stuff. And I mean, fortunately, I don't have a horror story, with the cops. I haven't been like arrested and abused, all that. But I mean, the simple things. I mean, I had an intimidation. Like, I was afraid of the police, so to speak, for them, being brought up that way, just to fear them, but need them, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and once I was able to open my eyes to like you don't have to fear them. Don't be nervous and all that. And I mean, it's been very empowering. So I like to share that empowerment, I guess.
No, that's awesome. Like, that's my feelings as well. Some of the best stuff that I've done is, like people think that I'm just getting off on cussing cops out. That's fun. But when I'm across the street yelling at cops at a mass transit station and there's an old man there in a walker, and I'm like, leave that old man alone, because they're like sucking $200 max violations out of people. There's like poor folks out in the numbers where we call it out here is the area where they have more Black and Latino and poor white people, and they can't afford to get on the mass transit. So the system's version of helping, a public service, according to them, is to give these people $200 tickets that couldn't afford a $5.
Yeah.
You're right.
Such a revenue. I mean, it makes me sick. It really makes me sick.
Yeah. And part of it is cussing the cops out and enjoying it, because I mean, who doesn't like to call a fascist a fascist? But like that old guy in the walker didn't get that ticket because I shamed this pig, and I'm like thrilled about it. So I mean, I have the same feelings you do. Ida Foxy Queen in the chat room is mentioning officers Martinez and Alvarez.
Yeah, Sergeant Alvarez is one of the. He's a low, like he's not as much like loud and in your face as Martinez, but because he's an older guy, he's definitely an old dog who won't be taught new tricks. He likes to talk or hear himself talk, I guess, and he likes to basically, what he does is he like defends himself. He always explains himself, like, or he tries to veer the conversation to where I'll understand where he's coming from, but yet he'll make sure to emphasize the fact that I can never understand what they go through until I walk a mile in their shoes bullshit, you know, like, and I'm like, oh, but I do enjoy talking to him because he says a lot, you know, over time. If you let him keep talking, you know, certain things come out. Like when he said we're a necessary evil. And I was like, geez. Alvarez.
Wow.
A necessary evil. Yeah, he's so. I mean, I love it. I mean, the conversation can kind of drag out. I'm sure, you know, the viewers would be bored by the length of it. So I cut the conversations down when I post them. But it's just.
Sure, I wanted to talk about that. Your editing style is freaking hilarious. Like, I love your. Yeah, your kung fu sword swinging from the 70s kung fu movies.
It's called the whip in the audio, whatever.
The audio editor?
You know why I do that is because the way I cut it, I don't want people to think I'm cutting it to misrepresent the situation, you know, like trying to make it seem like this happened right after this, or this was part of this, you know, like that's why I originally started to kind of do it, because I wanted people to realize, you know, this was a different, you know, a different spot, or it happened a little bit later. I am not trying to like mislead or edit to my, you know, my narrative or whatever. So that's why I started doing it. And then I just kind of liked it. And some people like it, some people hate it.
I think it's freaking hilarious. And I do a similar thing. I use the transition fade to white. So it'd be like 0.1 seconds of it fading to white, so you'll know that I edited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like the that little Jaws theme music you have going on.
Yeah. In the beginning of a couple of the videos, like I took that out just because it is kind of long, and I don't want people to like be discouraged and click off just because of the little. But yeah, that's my little Jaws.
Well, personally, I think that's freaking hilarious. It makes me giggle. Like I you know. So
the outro now. I mean, I've been putting this outro on at the end of I have like a full version of the outro where I'm basically saying you have the right to remain silent. You know, that whole the Miranda rights.
Yeah.
And then, or I cut it down to I record the police part, but yeah, I try to get creative. I do. I mean, I can be a little much sometimes, but it's better than not being anything at all, I guess.
Well, no. I love it. I love it. I think it's great that you're adding some production quality to what you're doing. So you mentioned you didn't have a horror story, but we talked a little bit last night about your fender bender on the sidewalk you had with Tom Zebra, and that's how you got into cop watching. I'd like you to share that story, because that's a good story.
I mean, it's basically I was just going to Rite Aid, and I don't know. I guess I wasn't looking straight in front of me, or I kind of was, but he was like messing with his chest cam or something on his. You know, he wasn't looking at all where he was walking, and he literally bumped right into me, and I was like, whoa. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I looked at him and I was like, wait, I know you. Aren't you on YouTube? And he's like, oh, you know me. Oh, and he acted a little like surprised or excited. And then he's like, just leave a comment in my next video and say it was you. So what I did then, you know, we started talking on email, and he right away was like, did you want to come with me? And I was like, oh, I really didn't even consider it, because I don't know. I just, you know, it was fun to watch. And then, I mean, at this point, obviously it's become like a passion, but I don't know. I just didn't consider it, but I agreed to. I thought it'd be kind of neat. And yeah, so it basically went from there. I mean, I didn't actually intend to record on my own. And I think I said that in a couple of the very first videos that he has of me, that I was like, I don't think I'll do this by myself, but it gets you. It gets you.
Yeah. It's kind of infectious. But yeah, for those
once you get the confidence and you're not, you know, the fear is gone. I mean, it's on and cracking. So.
Oh yeah. So speaking of that, like, so that's how you got your start cop watching. That's really funny. You bump into one of the more well-known cop watchers. He literally runs into you on the sidewalk.
Right. And I mean, I dig and respect the support I get from people that sit and watch our videos on the computer. But there was a point where I'm like, you know, I can do more, you know. I mean, I know there's some people that are, you know, handicapped, or, you know, but they're really supportive of those supporters. But I'm fully capable and willing and able, and I, you know, decided to be active, you know. So, and then that actually, because he couldn't, record with me all the time, I would record it with him once or twice, and then I started talking to Foxy, And because I couldn't do it by myself, I realized like the first time I tried, I was like frozen in fear. I was like, oh my God, because the safety of his knowledge and his experience was fine, you know, when I was with him, but then when it wasn't, it was a shit show.
Oh,
So
I understand. And in California, it's one of the more
yeah,
dangerous places, especially LA. California or like LA, Oakland, places like that are a little bit more dangerous to film cops. So I
right.
I probably would do it by myself there, but I wouldn't recommend somebody first starting to do it. No,
Yeah,
But
I probably would have gotten myself into trouble or something if I would have actually. I mean, once Foxy and I went out like a couple times. I mean, basically, boom, I it gave me that. I mean, I would do it alone. She would do it alone, and then you know, we'd hook up and record together. And I miss her because she's not recording with me anymore. She's not in the area.
oh, did she move a litlittle bit away from you or
Yeah,
something? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she did. But you know, she's doing her thing with the auditing with the other channels, and I mean, I totally did what she's doing. So
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get Foxy to come on the show as well. I'll reach out to her in the next week or so and see if she's interested.
yeah,
I bet if I ask real nice, she'll come on.
I'm sure she will. I don't think that she'd have a
Yeah.
problem with that at all.
So I want to get into how you felt after your first couple cop watchings. I mean, how did you feel? Like, what was the difference?
I felt like I understood a little more because even okay, so starting with cop watching, you know, you watch a lot of I watched a lot of Daniel Tom Zebra's videos and other channels videos. You know, you watch them to try to like learn and Onus, because Catman has been a big help with a lot of just the details. You know, he can name off policies, you know, like and all kinds of stuff. So which I respect that his style, but I don't know. It's like you learn every time something new, or you figure out how maybe to do it better the next time. And I felt the first couple times I was just kind of absorbing things. You know, I wasn't really trying to prove anything yet or trying to be one certain thing to the cops. You know, I guess I was just absorbing it and realizing, you know, where the problems are and maybe who the problem officers are, so to speak, because I basically stick to one area. Yes, if I go somewhere else, I'll record there. If I hook up with like Daniel or Catman, I'll record in other cities, you know, but for the most part, I kind of focus on that one station or these two cities, just because I want to get to know these officers because I feel like it helps with my, you know, my style of cop watching, so I can make that connection and be a connection almost for the community to these cops. Like these, like
Yes.
they don't know everything. They're not.
Hey, I just want to point this out real fast. I'm sorry to interrupt the whole interview.
It's fine.
But I just discovered if you try to type in BitChute, which is a competitor with YouTube, BitChute is censored in the chat for some reason.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
At BitChute, it's sort of it's a video hosting site that's sort of like a torrent kind of thing. And apparently if you try to type in BitChute, it doesn't go through. And so they're censoring their competitors out. This is funny shit. Anyway, go ahead and continue.
So, Laura, I want to.
Thanks for that. Yeah, good to know.
You're trying to screw. Like, should I talk about our corporate lords and masters like that? No. I feel like I'm in a slave pen, you know, a digital slave pen, and YouTube's basically
apocalypse, censorship overload. I mean, whatever. This platform has been like great, but then it's also starting to turn its ugly head, you know.
Yeah.
But
So you were talking about how your style. You're talking about your style of community policing the police. So you're only focusing on the area that you live in, and you're.
No, I don't live there.
Or you don't live there. It's
but
just.
I just focus on. I mean, honestly, I lived there like 10 years ago or something. But no, I don't live there because I actually don't record the police where I specifically live. Just I don't know, just to keep that bit of anonymity, the little bit of privacy I have left.
No, I got you. So you picked an area to
that I'm
police
familiar
the police,
with.
and do you have you seen situations calm down and become potentially less violent after you show up and start filming?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I feel like But then there's been times that when I've been there and I could tell that they don't know I'm there, but then one by one they'll see me and start to say it to each other, and then all of a sudden, like, I mean, it could take a different turn. I do think that there is, something powerful in knowing that the public is watching you, like whether it be me or anybody else. That's why it's so important for anybody to, if they see a police incident, I mean, it could be simple as a traffic stop, but according to the police, have told me many times that traffic stops are one of the most dangerous for them. So they're the most high strung on a traffic stop. So the outsiders might think that it's just a traffic stop, but could be potentially like a gnarly situation because they're scared of whoever's in that car, period. And so I think it's really important for other people to just, even, they don't have to be cop watchers, but like, put your phone up, record it, just because it does make an impression on them. Because they can say all day long they have body cameras, but when it comes to the LAPD, nobody sees it. There's no transparency to that. Nobody sees that video. I mean, it's a very, like, maybe one video has ever been released, maybe. And so basically, yeah, like them knowing that we're watching them and that, whatever they think they're going to get away with, that no, not in my time, not in my camera.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Is that, I like the idea that, when their backs are turned and they're, doing their, quote unquote duty, and then they look up and see me recording and they didn't know I was recording before. It's a really great feeling. It's like, yeah, like, that's right. I am watching, and you have to mind your P's and Q's.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the different reactions from them seeing me is kind of comedy gold for me too. Like when they're like, oh. Like those facial expressions that they make is just so, I don't know, my own personal comedy. Like that's the other thing. When you go with a partner or with a group, you can keep yourself entertained to, a certain degree. Like Foxy and I had a blast, when she posted a couple of videos like of our bloopers and stuff. I mean, it can be fun. It doesn't have to be all serious. I mean, there are some pretty gnarly situations that you'll witness, but for the most part, it could have been gnarlier if you weren't there, kind of a thing, But I definitely get a little bored now being like doing it by myself, but I can keep myself entertained, So certain degree.
So what else did I want to know? I want to talk about also those two videos I saw from Las Vegas.
Oh yeah,
I talked to you about where the one female cop, her body language. I just want Bunny to show the video, but basically this female cop, well, two of them actually, blatantly tries to intimidate you, and you just handle it like a boss lady. It was impressive. But Bunny, can we show the audience that video, and then we'll Laura and I will talk about it. Bunny Boots.
I think he's trying.
Bunny's down.
Well, okay, I'm here. I'm sorry. I had to bring up the window to unmute my mic here. So,
all right.
Give me a second here. I have to bring up the window capture. Which one was it? Make sure I got the right one. Yes, I do. I have the right one. So, got that one up on here, and then I gotta go over here. That should do that. Yep, good. Okay, we're looking at the right window. And obviously, just to let you guys know, there is like a 2-minute delay. It is a 5-minute video. Give me a heads up if you need me to stop it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it play all the way through, and then Laura and I and you will talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a 2-minute delay. I'm fine.
Doing well?
Yep.
Okay.
How are you?
Well.
You're well too. Okay, good.
It sounds like somebody's building a house.
How is that? From the clicking of the keyboard, or?
I don't know.
From the swishing of the swishing noise in the cuts.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. But wait, did you say there's a 2-minute delay?
It's about 2 minutes, at least on my channel. So.
So we're all muted, right? They're watching it.
No. We're talking back and forth. They can hear you, so I don't have you guys muted.
Is it going to play on Mike's channel or on?
It's playing on both of our channels.
Okay, because I don't see it on his yet.
Yeah, as I said, it's
Okay.
2-minute delay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and continue playing this. So
Okay, let's stop talking so the audience can actually see the video.
I don't even see the. Okay, something's changing.
Everything okay?
Everything okay
Yeah.
with you? Did I flinch?
No?
Nope.
You're fine. What
Can
are we
I?
doing?
You don't have to answer me, but I'm just wondering what's happening here.
Oh no, we're just doing, this is a prison transport van right here.
Prison. She's going straight to prison. She doesn't go to
No,
jail.
it's not prison. It's
Oh.
just prisoner.
Oh, that's what they.
Yeah.
Oh, prisoner.
They go to county jail.
So, and then, but I mean, if you want to, you don't have to tell me. But what does something like that mean? She did. Is it just like a?
This is how on the strip, anybody that gets arrested goes into this van.
Oh, okay.
So it's
For
not
whatever
like
the crime is.
specific crime, yeah, just whatever.
All right.
Is this
So,
for like documentary or
I record the police
like only over here or?
wherever I want in
Are
a
you
public
from
place.
Are you
I'm
from
not going to answer that.
Oh. Are you from here or?
I said I'm not going to answer that.
Did this hurt right here?
I'm not going to answer that either. What's your name? Ed Rada? And what's your name? Connors? Wow, chick. Well, that was fun.
So cold.
I'm good. I'm warm. I prepared.
I'm prepared too.
For sure.
Yeah. Should put it on record.
So yeah. So that's a wrap on that.
That's a wrap.
Well, I mean, there's more coming over here all night. So.
You just post up and then just wait for the next.
Yeah, all the units.
So like another unit, like
Did
a.
you just come here because?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Oh no, we've been doing this the whole night. That's why.
Well, no, yeah, I've been here. I just been walking around.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we're always here. I mean, it's 7 days a week. This is kind of where we post up. Planet Hollywood
Like-
loves it. You know, just the officers.
Just to make you feel
presence.
safer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you guys do. Right on.
Do you think that's what we do?
No, I just asking based on what you're saying. Don't read into what I'm.
Oh. How do you feel about police officers?
How do I feel? I don't think that really. I just believe in police accountability. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not a threat.
What
I'm
is-
not. I don't
what is
hate. I don't.
accountability to you?
If you're worried about me hating police, it's not the case. I believe in protecting citizens, and that's basically, you know. So how do you feel about what I'm doing?
We record you too.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, we don't have
We're
a
on the
problem
same
with you
page,
recording.
baby.
It's your First Amendment right to record.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Gum. Ouch.
Somebody littered.
Somebody littered. Probably catch that on the 100 million cameras you have around here, right?
All right.
All right.
Have a
Might
good
see you
night.
around, I guess.
See you around.
You too. This bitch was feisty, but I'll tell you right now.
okay, I'm gonna stop it at the 3:49 mark, guys. That pretty much covers the that main interaction. Unless there's something, Laura, that you want me to play after that. Is there something?
No, I mean,
No, I just wanted to cover the douchey intimidation tactic where she runs up on her like, you know,
Yeah.
just shameless.
and you know the question she was asking, like she asked me twice basically. She goes, you know, so do you live around here? And I'm like, I'm not gonna answer that. And then she asked me like right away the same question. I'm like, that I wasn't gonna answer that. And then she wants to ask me if my piercing on my lip hurt. And I know she was just wanting me to answer something. And I was like, no, not gonna. No. So I mean, it was she was sorry, cat. She was kind of being like, I think she was almost being kind of funny, like in her own mind, you know, at first. But then as soon as I, you know, said that, you know, basically wasn't playing along, she started to get offended, and I could tell like it took a dive to like, oh, she's serious. I don't know. Anyway, but she definitely put her boob in my face or my camera, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, she was literally maybe 8 inches away from you.
Yeah, really. I mean, her boob basically almost hit my camera. You know, like I was just like, yeah.
But she leans up to show you her name tag because she's too lazy to say her name or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's fine. I didn't need it that close, but you know, for whatever it's worth, most cops will point to it as if you can read a little shiny, reflective, engraved badge on their, you know, chest. You know, but so you know, I'll give her that she did get it a little closer. But
you know, here's one for you. I've noticed that that's universal. You can watch a cop watching video from Texas. You can watch one from Arizona. You can watch one from Florida. You can watch one from North Carolina. You can watch one from California. And all cops have these itty bitty little bitty name tags. They're super reflective, and the letters are black
with the same color as the rest of the bat. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, and like you're expected to be able to see that, and that's on purpose. A lot of agencies will have the letters printed in bigger letters on the external part of the uniform with the body armor.
Sometimes they have it stitched, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of times a policy doesn't say that they can't obscure it, so they'll put their pocket protector, their little Steve Urkel, for writing people their extortion receipts and their letters of marque to steal revenue from them, right on top of their name badge or name tag on purpose. But I want the audience to think about this for a second. I want you to imagine if somebody carrying a metal baton, pepper spray, and a gun strapped to their hip would run up on a cop like that. How would the police react? Like
dead. I'd be a dead woman.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
Or at least not liking life too much.
Yeah, at the very least, they're going to try to grab you up by your weave and throw you on the ground or something. It's like, like, oh no, you didn't.
That's I mean, to also she's a small officer. I mean, I've seen smaller, but she was like the white Connor, I think was the white female cop to my left. She was basically my height, but this cop was like quite a bit shorter, and I think she might have that. What's that, like Napoleon?
Yeah, like the short, she was definitely like a midget. I'm pretty sure that you could choke her out if you wanted to.
Like, I'm sure she tries in every avenue of her life. She reaches to get that feel bigger or more powerful than somebody, or has to like show her dominance, and especially when she's in uniform, whatever. I could tell that she was, I don't know, she went from goofy to like serious, but still in my mind goofy. But
you might want to try this one. But there's one thing I do to play with cops' heads is I'll ask them, so. First I'll make the statement, here's the thing, right? You don't have any power. Your uniform does. How do people treat you when you're walking down the street in your street clothes? How do people react to you? Do they treat you any different? And even if they don't answer, it's in their mind. Their uniform is the power. It's not them. And it messes with them in the back of their mind. I think it's important to point that out to them.
Yeah, basically. I mean, what I want to know, like what I ask, like the public or people is like, I mean, I'm just trying to, like, when the cops start asking you questions, like, I mean, they might seem like they're just shooting the shit, and like, but trust me, that's never the case. Like, there is always some underlying meaning for asking you any questions, basically to get you in the habit of answering a question, and then they'll get to the deeper ones. But like, how would they react if some other member of the community came up and asked those questions? Would they answer them? No. Like, I don't know. That's part of what I'm trying to do, is to try to, shed the light to people that these people have no right to know, just as much as everybody else doesn't have the right to know, like where you're going, where you're coming from, where you live, where you might go, what you were doing for that matter, like, it's just, if anybody else asked me these questions, I wouldn't answer. So, I mean.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the cops, like, that's their little power. And I guess my power is in my camera and in my voice and in, my beliefs. So I feel like it's a lot more powerful than them in some cases. I mean, except for the fact that they do have a gun, and I can't ever, what's the word? I can never think that everything's okay with them. Like, I can never really be comfortable in the sense of, like, anything could happen and they could just flip the script at any one time.
Right. They definitely have a monopoly. They definitely have a monopoly on the use of violence. But what you're saying about your camera being more powerful, I would agree. I think that ideas can't be killed. I think that, your activism, every video you put online, it's going to be there on the internet for, hundreds of years, and that it's really important that the stuff that you do, I'm impressed by it. I think that more people need to start participating, or instead of just being at home on your social media, and you don't have to be a cop watcher, just go outside and do something, Like,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I don't think that people. The thing is that I think people are still afraid. Like, and I'm sure. I mean, we haven't reached everybody yet. I'm hoping that the people that have watched my videos so far have maybe even gotten their own little sense of enlightenment where they can be somewhat comfortable and maybe know at least. I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they want to walk away because they feel intimidated. Like, that's probably the best thing instead of getting themselves in the worst problem. But for whatever it's worth, as long as they can record, as long as they're comfortable recording, then cool. Or let one of the cop watchers in your area aware of any police activity that seems a little overdone, or you know what I'm saying. So there's always a way to be active without having to physically be there and put yourself in a situation you're not comfortable with.
yeah, I agree with that too.
It takes time. I mean, I totally. I don't know when I think about it because I've seen when I'm recording and like other people will start recording there, but they're like, I could tell that they're kind of just playing off what I'm doing, and I'm glad to give them that comfort, that they know that they can sit there recording because I'm here with an actual camera and not my camera phone or whatever. But when I'm gone, it's like I'm trying to figure out the best way to help the community understand, that they can. It's okay to record them and to be comfortable, and what to do if it gets a little sketchy.
Yeah, maybe you should do a know your rights training or a cop watching training where
Right.
you like,
Yeah, actually, I'm working on a video called, so you want to be a cop watcher.
oh, I'd love to mirror that. Whenever you produce it, let me know. I mean, I'll mirror it and link back to your channel. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to touch the points of being an actual like active cop watcher opposed to like being at least an active community member that sees something and records. I mean, there is a big difference. So, I mean, and anything is appreciated from other people. So yeah, that's basically the points I'm going to try to touch on. Like how to just do what you can, and then or how to actually do solid cop watching. So.
Yeah, I mean that's exciting stuff. Like I every once in a while I'll throw one together where I'll just talk about a filming technique or this is a great angle to film from, but I've never formalized anything yet. But I think Jacob Crawford's work with We Cop Watch with their Cop Watch University stuff is very informative. If you've never seen
yeah.
that. Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, like I like I think it's I think what was it Pablock.org or something has this little has a couple written like some PDF files on there, and when I first started, I reviewed some of them, and I mean they're good, they're actually pretty solid, but I think it's kind of unique to every state and every situation, and you almost have to be willing to be vulnerable at least for a moment because you kind of have to test certain things, like test how you'll be responding, because whether or not you're allowed to doesn't mean you're going to be allowed to. Like legally, yes, but every cop is different. So
right.
You almost need to test the water, and you have to be willing to be in a situation that if they don't like it, then that test went bad. But I mean, I know there's a lot of times that viewers are like, why didn't you stand your ground? Why didn't you get arrested, basically? And I'm like, I thought about it, and my PayPal account didn't have the money for bail. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't feel like getting arrested that morning.
Yeah,
I recorded in the middle of the night, and I'm not feeling it. I totally respect the fact that like Daniel, he gets arrested all the time. He's kind of standard, but I mean, and some people are willing to, or maybe not willing to, but do get arrested. But I just feel like, me personally, I'm until I know that I have that bail money, I really appreciate people's passion and wanting me to stand my ground. But I just don't feel like getting arrested. I don't feel like going through that part of the system and then basically having to pay towards their revenue collection and be basically supporting the fraud, the fraud that comes after that.
What I have to say to those people is basically, until you're out in the street doing it, screw you. I'm serious. I get that all the time. Half of my audience thinks I'm not cops, and half of them think not me. It's weird. But until you're actually out there in the street doing it, until you feel the vulnerability, until you've had cops point guns at you, until you've had you know, all the negative experiences that come along with it. Because it's a scary thing. I mean, especially being a woman. I mean, once those cuffs go on and you get stuck in the back of that car, you're essentially kidnapped.
And basically, you know, you have to wait forever for a female officer because it's like few and far between with the LAPD Harbor Division. Like, don't touch me. But yeah. Actually, and it is unique to the situation where I would have to be going to 77th, and that's like, that's 45 minutes. Yeah, anyway, there's a whole lot that goes to being arrested that I'm cool. I'm cool with being on this end. I know that they know they're not supposed to be doing. So basically in those situations, I have taken the route of doing a complaint. You know, if they have actually been yelling at me to stand back, yes, I could have stood my ground, but instead I'll go ahead and put a complaint on the record. And I have every right to, and I know that that complaint will be there for the rest of their career.
Sure.
You know? So that's basically, I mean, like I said, if the bail amount was in there, but see, even with that, I think about it, I'm like, I don't want to, you know, participate in their revenue collection. Like if I got arrested, no matter if I was right or wrong, no matter if I sue them, there will be a point where they get my money or whoever donated the money, you know? And it's just, that's kind of almost defeating the purpose.
My philosophy of it is I'm willing to get arrested, but I do it strategically. I'm super careful about what limits I'm willing to push, and I'll go right up to the edge. But usually I strategically, before an event, you know, I'll ask people, like if it's a large protest or something, and I'll ask the people that I'm there to cover it with, other cop watchers, who's willing to be arrested, you know, like show of hands kind of thing. But what people that don't realize when they're watching or fans of our YouTube channels is that they're not seeing the you know, the 12, 14 court dates. It took a year,
right?
And you know, and the money it takes,
I mean, like you got to, even though we have good representation out here, you know, that we got a lawyer that basically will represent us, but eventually, I mean, there's court fines, there's the time it takes out of your life fines.
Yeah, you have to take off from work.
The process of it, you know, exactly, and like the whole process of it is like time consuming, and like it just, I don't feel like giving them that. If the situation arose that it was like basic, like, I mean, I hope that people will trust my judgment. Like if there was a situation, I'd get arrested. I wouldn't punk out and basically subject, you know, do that. But I basically, like, I would get arrested and I'd go through the process. But I guess I just haven't had that situation yet. And I mean, frankly, I mean, I know it's a strong possibility that will happen, and I'm prepared for that mentally. But for the most part, for these little side shows that are like these, you know, the officers be like, can you just stand back a little? You know, I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's better to get them in the full view of the, you know, the situation anyway. So I'm going to step back for my viewing, you know, needs, so opposed to your needs. So.
I'm sensing Bunny wants to say something. So.
Yeah, Mike, I'm gonna hop in here. It is the top of the hour. I think it's time we should start opening it up for questions from the audience. What do you think?
Oh, I'm down. I'm good. Go ahead. I just don't. How many people are in this chat?
You're on
different platforms. My bad.
Yeah, I can't really give you an easy estimate, but from the looks of it, I got 5 on Twitch. I think I'm the only one that's watching on Mixer there. And what's my live stream say? I'm looking at around 45 on YouTube.
Okay, I mean, I'm just on the YouTube, so if anybody has questions for me from the other ones, I
well, as is, I'm monitoring all the chats to some extent, so it's going to take about 2 minutes for the people to realize that we're now asking for questions from them. So
we'll keep talking for a minute. You know, it's important that people that know their limits. And to new cop watchers, I just have to be honest with you. It's not really a matter if you're going to get arrested. It's a matter of when. Like, it's just going to happen. And if you're not willing to do that, then cop watching probably isn't your cup of tea.
Calling.
So, just to be perfectly honest with people.
I know that it's in my future at some point, but as long as I can kind of control certain situations, I mean, I basically can, you know, be at the forefront of my decision. I decide what I do. I decide what I say, And
Of course, you can't let your troll audience run you. No.
I mean, I have in my mind, I don't know if I can articulate them, certain situations that I would be willing to be arrested in. But like, I mean, I don't know how to explain them, right now. But for the most part, the little things, no, I'm not willing to get arrested because they told me to stand back for fucking, excuse me, for some just silly situation. Like. It's not that big of a deal. So
great. So, Foxy has a very important question. She asked,
"What color are your underwear?" Yeah,
what color? Size? What color is your underwear? She says, "Yes."
Yeah, I know. Do we get that? What's your bra size? Where'd you come from? What? Where's my sneakers? I'm gonna get my running shoes on because I'm gonna get some running.
Oh, that's your common troll comments.
Hers is no, like Foxy likes to say that I need to get my running shoes on because I'm gonna get the run around, but. We do get a lot from the cops, like, so, where did you come from? Did you? I don't know, just these silly questions that are like, eventually, like, what else are you gonna ask me? What's my boss?
I came from fuck you a Stan. You know.
Yeah, I'll be like up there, over there. Oh, did you drive here? No, I fly. Dun, 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 dun.
Right. I got 2 big eagle feathers and I flapped right in. You know.
I'm like, I fly. No, I'm a bird. I'm a plane. It's Laura Shark.
The plane, boss. The plane. No. I'm tattoo.
Okay, let me get the chat window. Let's see. We have a question from Fathom Lord Carther. The #1 tip for brand new cop watcher.
To go in groups, to have a partner at the very least. I think that's the #1 thing, to have that support and backup. I think people don't realize that. I mean, even I don't underestimate the police in the sense. I'm not afraid of them, but I know what they're capable of. And I think that's one of the most important things, like #1 things, to have that support and that knowledge. Because if you don't know something or forget something, maybe that your partner or somebody in the group will know something, and they, just see that background. Because, yeah, I mean, I think that's the #1 thing. I mean, like I said, I'm making a video about it, and I kind of go down the list of things. So,
yeah. Oh, here's another good one from Frank Laim Ansa. Laura, can I have your babies?
You're gonna have my babies? Wow. Cool. Well, do
We're
it.
getting some Fudanara going on here.
I don't know. I mean, is that a guy or a girl? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I figure I'd throw that one in there. Hold on. Chris and Katz, yes, you just type it. I'm going through the chat here. I'm looking for questions that are good or comedic to throw at Laura here. Worst police encounter from Discord Pope or Discordian Pope.
Well, the worst, gosh. I mean, when it comes to how they reacted to me or to something that I witnessed, I guess.
You're just saying worst police encounter, so I guess maybe that you probably have witnessed, or maybe one that has happened to you.
I guess like the one that really kind of sticks out is wow, sorry, my cat. Hold on, my cat just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Your cat hates our radio show.
So the one that sticks out the most is this guy, he got stabbed, and Foxy and I were recording that one, and he was in the alley. All right, seriously. He was in the alley, and the cops tased him, and he was stabbed, to subdue him, because I guess he was freaking out because he got stabbed. And, I didn't notice right away that, we didn't notice that he was bleeding, but his white shirt was, like, soaked in blood. And he had taser leads coming out of his leg, like, I was like, what the? I mean, that was just more like that was like, wow.
Wait, in what universe is that like a medical treatment? Like, okay, you've been stabbed, so we're gonna taser you to calm you down.
Yeah, because like the situation, like just to basically, long story short, is that kid got stabbed. Another guy was willing to give him a ride. They were going to his car. I mean, they walked around the block. Then they're about to get in the guy's car. And the cops show up and say, no, you can't take him to the hospital because if he dies in your car, then you'll be liable. Like, really? I mean, the stupid shit that they said, the guy's dad actually showed up and was going to take him to the hospital. And so all in all, I think it was like a half an hour or something between when the guy got stabbed and when the RA showed up. And then, even then, we're watching them take their sweet baby time, getting the leads out of him. cuffing him to the stretcher, talking to. I mean, it was just like Foxy and I were like, what the?
Were they attempting to hold direct pressure on his wound?
No, they didn't touch him. They tased him. Nobody did that. He basically was. Okay, so I talked to afterwards. He saw my video, I guess, and he had actually contacted me afterwards to kind of give me a little more backstory. But basically, he was going in and out of. He doesn't remember a lot of it. He was blacking out, and he remembers like just being afraid because he wanted to go to the hospital, and then they tased him, because then he was down on the ground. It was just it was all like bizarre, but it was like, okay, well, it's not shocking anymore because I feel like there's no de-escalation training, period. Like there is no way. Like they don't have any. They're not shrinks. They don't have any like mental health training. They don't. They just take bodies. Cold or warm. The cops just take the bodies. They don't have any. It was nauseating, that whole thing. So that I guess was kind of one of the worst that sticks out in my mind. So
man, that's just hairball stuff right there. Like, wow, the magic wound care, LAPD's wound care.
Yeah, they
procedure.
have. If they get shot, they have this special like packages to help each other. Each other officers. They're like clotting powder that they have, all kinds of stuff that they have to give each other aid, but like not this guy.
Foxy is saying that it was a damn shame and he was cuffed to the gurney and they wouldn't put compression bandages on him or anything. I added that part, but like you've already confirmed it, so
yeah, it was.
Hey, yeah, Mike, has anybody posted questions from your chat?
I just read just Foxy, but I've conveyed everything that Foxy and Desert Sentinel's having a private combo in there.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm sitting here. I was sort of mixing some. I heard saw a comment about missing a question or something like that.
Yeah, I know, and I think said that they were going to text me.
So Foxy, if you're listening, can you come on the show on Friday?
It'll take a minute for that question to go through. But I got another question posed by Johnny, no last name, over on Twitch. And for Laura, does the night filming add more intensity?
I don't know what that means. Like,
does it make it more risky? Do you think it adds more?
Yeah, it can make it okay. Well, yeah, because it can make it a little more exciting, I suppose. No, it makes it there's different kinds of calls, I guess. Like whereas during the day you might have your everyday, you might have a lot more traffic stops or just one police incident. But there's kind of more specific ones when it comes to at night, I guess, like more mental health cases, more domestic violence, like stuff that I guess that happens at night because the freaks come out at night. But or the like the reason I kind of do it mostly at night is during the day it could be hot. And I don't really like the like overeating in front of but it's almost more convenient because there's nothing else I have to do. I don't have any like other things, responsibilities to do at night. Everybody else is sleeping and I can do this, and nothing will like interrupt me, I suppose, because anytime that I record during the day, there's always something that like comes up that I would have to either leave, and which I don't want to, or like the scene or whatever. So I just know that I have that free time. I try to get a better camera that can do better night vision. I mean, it's better than it was, but I know that it's still kind of hard.
Laura, check your text because Desert Sentinel says we missed his question, and he'll text it to you.
I don't see a text from him though.
Yeah,
I'll try to scroll back and find his question while you guys are talking.
Yeah, another one's from Edie, but I'm not sure if this is actually applying to you or me. He asked how long can they hold your property for. Should I just answer that one for you?
I mean, technically, indefinitely, right? They could fight.
They hold it as long as the criminal case isn't being investigated. That's how long they will hold the equipment. So that's pretty easy on that one.
Like when you, but
yeah, but some departments have policies like, but
it doesn't mean that they go by it.
Right? Doesn't. But most of the time they just disappear your equipment down the memory hole until the criminal phase is over, and that could be 6 months or a year.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I know that Daniel, his drone was taken for like 2 or 3 years, you know, it was so outdated when he got it back. Like finally he had gotten it back, but it was, I mean, the only reason it's just for the principle of it that he kept on it to get it back. But like, I mean, 2 or 3 years, I mean, they must have been playing with that thing for a while, you know. It didn't make any sense to why they kept it either, like in that specific situation. But every situation I think is unique as to how important it is to them. And then if you do get it back, it's all deleted, you know. So
yeah. Let's see here. We got another one from Chris and Katz. When I watch Laura's clips, I struggle to hear as the narrative can be quite low and mumbly. I was wondering if she could alter the volume a tad, please.
All right, yeah, I'm working on it. It's like when it's nighttime and it's quiet basically, and then there's the scene, and I'm trying to narrate something. I think I guess I just try to keep it low so it's like private conversation between me and the camera, opposed to them hearing what I'm saying. I guess it really doesn't matter if they hear what I say, but I'll work on that.
Yeah, and then Lone Star's got a question for me. BBI, which drone do you use? I use a DJI Phantom 2, though it hasn't been really in big operational because of current battery issues. I have to replace that. I just haven't gotten around to doing it because I haven't had the money for it. So and now I don't have the camera to go on it because the cops have that. So continuing on here.
Moving on.
Let's see here. I thought I saw another question. Was it over here on Twitch? Okay, yeah, never mind. That was actually trying to further it, which I actually did pretty good interpreting the question for that. Is there any showing up over on your chat, Mike?
No, it's just Foxy saying that she'll do the show, but let's talk about it. You know, she wants me to text her. No, there's no nope.
No.
Okay,
Desert Sentinel had something, but I can't. I scrolled back and I couldn't see.
I just texted him, but he hasn't texted me back either. So lost in translation.
Okay. Got rights? Question mark. It actually has a one. What made Laura Shark decide to start auditing?
Well, I mean, I don't audit as much. Did they mean X auditing, or are they thinking they're the same thing?
I don't know what they mean by that. I thought maybe you did some testing, first minute testing. Oh, you have? Okay.
No, she's a cop watcher.
But I am like basically I am a cop watcher who, and yes, I will do audits. You know, when if the situation arises with a group, I never audit it alone. That's not my I don't know, strongest. So I did audit. I mean, I guess to kind of answer the question, and when I went to Texas and I met up with Philip Turner, and in his he audits, and that was basically kind of some of the first times I like did the actual auditing. So that's why, because that's
so tell us about that. Was that fun? Was it fun to go out with the Potosi?
Yeah, no, it was kind of short notice. Like we just kind of like okay, yeah, and then I went out there. Honestly, actually, the very first audit we did at this one police station, I was bored. I was like, I came all the way to Texas to just sit here as backup, and I was like a brat, to be honest, because I was like, he's all like, hide behind this, and I'm like, what? But basically, you know, like after that, we figured out each other's styles to what would work best. So because being a cop watcher, you're front and center right then and there. You know, like sometimes with auditing, you have different roles, and I wasn't like prepared for that at the very beginning. But yeah, I enjoyed that trip, and I'm sure if I hooked up with Foxy again, then we would go audit somewhere, and I'd be down. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got another one on mine from the Catman. Onus News Service. Question for Laura: who is your second favorite cop watcher?
Sorry, what?
Who is your second favorite cop watcher?
Oh, Catman. Definitely Catman. Daniel and Catman. Where's his question? I don't see him.
It's on my chat for YouTube.
I love Catman. Like Daniel's taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot. I mean, they have two very different styles, yet obviously the same cause. So, but it's very impressive work that he does.
Yeah, and we got another one from Sarah T. At Laura Shark. Do you mind cop watching by yourself? Do you have a preference, alone or buddy?
I do like cop watching by myself, yeah, but I did really like cop watching with like Foxy, you know, having that partnership. But sometimes, you know, doing it alone, you don't have to. I don't know. I don't know. I hate I hate to say it like I'm antisocial or something, but I do enjoy doing it by myself, just so like my the way I don't know how to say it without sounding like a bitch, but just so I can kind of have it in my style, because I love Foxy, but there are different ways that we see things, and I have to watch what I say sometimes more when I'm with Foxy, just because, you know, I mean, and I'm not saying she's wrong, and I know Foxy knows what I'm talking about, but she has a different way of doing her style and my style. Now with the group, I think that's great too, but I do enjoy cop watching by myself too. I think that I have a strength by myself that I don't know, that I'm confident in.
Yeah, and I can sort of expand on that. I mean, I've done several group things. I actually sort of have a personal preference more towards the alone, because I can, when I want to try to aim for a silent treatment, I can go and do that. And it's very difficult to do silent treatment with a group kind of setting, because so far there's only like, I think, 3 other people that have been able to pull off a silent treatment situation.
I've never been able to do that yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it once,
just myself to do so.
I have done it. Like I'm gonna have Bunny Boots like critique it after. I'm gonna do one silent treatment video of an audit, just because it's gonna be so difficult for me to keep my mouth shut.
Man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's my strongest asset. Is my voice.
It is so hard to keep your mouth shut at times. That is for sure when you're trying to do a silent treatment video.
Oh my god! I mean, but it's a challenge. So I mean, I guess I've considered doing that, but and you know what? Also with the group, sometimes with the different styles of people, you know, different styles. Sometimes like I'm not against anybody else's style, but sometimes it just sometimes I'll just be like, wow, you know, and that's maybe sometimes why I stay away from groups, just so like I don't know, I don't get distracted, I suppose. But,
yeah, well, I mean, how should I put it? I mean, my personal style would conflict with something like News Now Patrick. He's very up there in their face.
Yeah.
And then some of the LA guys that do the First Amendment audits and stuff like that, my style would clash with theirs to some extent, where it would literally, we'd have to figure out, we'd have to pre-plan the situation pretty much. Just like, okay, here's the deal. You guys are backup, or I'm going to be backup kind of thing, and just be in the background kind of scene. And then whoever is going to be the lead on that, it's going to follow the style that they want to push. That's pretty much how I figured it's going to have to work. I sort of had to deal with that when it comes to, like, when I was working with News Now Houston over there in Houston, and the scat guys over there in San Antonio, it was just like, okay, let me play it this way, and then, or, okay, I'll act as backup kind of thing. We'll just sit there and do all kinds of other stuff where they got to have their fun in a way. They got to be like the backup camera person, or be the, be like, sort of like that unknown eyewitness that's like, I don't know what he's doing, I'm gonna film him too, kind of thing. Which was was funny with Buck G when she did that. That was I got a good chuckle when that one it wasn't the Air Force base, it was that military. No, that might have been an Air Force base. I can't remember. There's like 3 or 4 different bases over at San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, I more power to the ones that can be like quiet in the background, because that's never the role I could I could take. Though, if I'm in the back, I'm still, you can hear me yelling back there. But I don't yell at, like, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't yell at the cops per se. Like, I try to kind of keep it as chill. But if it goes, you know, a different way, then you know, it goes a different way. But I don't go in there like bitter about anything, because going back to the whole, like, I didn't start doing this because of some horror story, you know, like, so I don't have some pre-existing like anger towards the cops. I'm enlightened, and I'm aware of things now that do anger me, and I'm not saying I'm not upset and angry and passionate about things, but I try to like kind of feel it out every time I start recording. But I feel like a lot of them are kind of go in there already with a set script to put out there and get the cops' reaction, and that's fine. I'm like ADD, so sometimes I'm not that articulate in the moment, you know, until like later, until I realize, like, I should have said this, I should have said that. But so, like, I'm not angry when I go out to record. So I
Yeah.
just kind of base it off of every every time it's different and unique. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got another question from Shadow Boxer. Laura, loved your vid of Crack Pipe Man. Is that the first time you've seen peeps ditch stuff?
oh, the one with Grimes. It was a like a speed pipe that was on the ground that I saw when I left. I was like, they missed it. Like it was a training day fail basically because there was a training officer with 2 rookies, you know, and those always take forever. I don't know if you guys have ever had to sit through a rookie filling out freaking paperwork and oh my god, it's like 45-minute traffic stop.
Yeah, it's the most boring shit
freaking,
ever.
like, oh my god, I'm like, oh. Once I realized it was a rookie, I contemplate like leaving, but I never have. But I contemplate. But
You're like,
yeah.
no, come on, hurry it up with the paperwork.
Because they always have to double check with the freaking training on. Oh my god. Anyway, but they basically, this guy had 2 bikes. He was riding a bike and then like had another bike, you know, which is skills, I have to say. That's not easy. But I guess he had thrown a meth pipe on the grass, kind of like in the direction that I was coming from. So I didn't see it right away, and then I went around. Anyway, it wasn't until I was leaving that I saw it in the ground. I'm like, whoopsies, and he picked it back up and went about it. So that's on him. That's on them. Yeah, I guess it was, like I called it a training day fail, and actually that officer's young son made a video about me. The training officer's son made a video about me saying how I suck. He's young, and I posted it to the next time another video, but I blurred the complete video out, and I actually had them take that video down because the kid probably wouldn't have been prepared for the ridicule that comes from the internet, and he was like, I don't know, 11 or 10 or 11, and I thought it was kind of cute, but it was funny that officer's son was like, no, it wasn't a fail. My dad knows it was. The video is, I think it's this is what police are telling their kids. So if anybody wants to check that out, but it was quite funny. The kid goes on to say that you should stop because they're getting mad, and I'm like, oh, what? Okay.
Pretty much, it's a young guy that doesn't know how life works.
His father is his hero, and that's fine. But Monday he'll figure it out one way or another.
Speaking of kids, like this is one of the most common things that I get thrown at me, and I see it gets thrown at other cop watchers too. And they even did it to you, Bunny, when you were being arrested most recently. They're like, "Oh, you were filming kids."
What?
Like trying to say you're a pervert.
They're trying to defame me and with press releases, the city of Springfield with my arrest from last week. And let's just say this much: the evidence is not going to support what they are stating, and they're looking at burying themselves deeper in the situation. That's what I'm stating about that issue.
Well, yeah, but this common narrative that if there's kids present or anywhere near, or there was some possibility that you would have filmed a kid, cops have dropped hints and outright tried to insinuate that I was a pervert while I'm cop watching. Has that happened to you?
I've never been accused of being a pervert, but when it comes to kids, I guess like this situation, I blurred out the whole video because I wasn't trying to exploit the kid and whatever, he has to live with his father being a cop for the rest of his life, so that's on him. But I guess I haven't had, because I go out at night, I haven't had too many situations where there's children in the background or to be worried about. I guess that's one of the benefits of going out at night.
Yeah, like it happened over the summer to a cop watcher out here, Eli Ritchie. He was filming on the waterfront, and this woman walks up to him, and she's like basically filleting one of those otter pops, and she walks up to him and says, and I quote, I usually get paid for people to film and take pictures of me, and are you going to pay me? Now, later she files a complaint. She actually posts on Facebook that basically she was creeped out by this pervert on the waterfront, but like she walks over to the guy and asks for, okay, when there's a pervert in the bushes or some pervert, and she alleged that Eli was rubbing himself. Like, does that make any sense to you as a woman? If a guy's creeping you out and he's like rubbing himself through his pants, are you going to walk over and ask him to give you a tip?
Right.
like some money, you know, like.
Yeah,
But
no, that was just that was some bullshit.
yeah, the Multnomah County prosecutor found that Facebook post and then encouraged her to make a legal complaint. So they actually drug Eli's name through his name's Son of Hightower. If you check out his YouTube channel, but they drug his name through the newspaper.
Jeez.
Said, you know, put that police report in there that he was like touching his wiener through his clothes, and he was acquitted. But the thing is that still everybody thinks Eli's a pervert now.
Yeah.
Because they never made a retraction in the newspaper, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess that's where I've been lucky where there hasn't been too many children. I mean, I guess when I've done a couple at like Venice Beach, and obviously there's kids there, you know, during the day, but I haven't had any problems about it because it's just more obvious that I'm not, whatever. I've lucked out, but you know, there'll be a day that I personally might try to blur their faces out just because I guess kids are sensitive subject, and it, you know, it's not about them and all that. I don't like to put in anything that's too distracting. Like some people might think I'm like censoring but I just don't want to distract from the point of my video. Like I do have a tendency to like cuss a little more than I should, you know, in my videos, and I've edited out a lot of my cussing, and then just because those things distract them, and then having like kids or certain other things, I just don't want it to distract from the point of the video. So
yeah, I've never met an expletive I didn't love, so my stuff is pretty crude.
I mean, I would cuss a lot more, I guess, and now I still probably cuss the same amount, but I just edit out a lot of it, I guess. just little things like the F-bomb here and there, and I have
Well, I've decided to start, you know, honestly, from an economic standpoint, they've been demonetizing everything with an F-bomb.
That's another big reason.
So
too.
I bleep it out with my little, you know, like F and, you know, ... thing, because I think that's funny. I think it's funny to have a beep in the video, you know.
Sometimes it needs to be in there, and then sometimes if I'm just, that's another one of the big reasons, because of the ads. Because if I cuss or anything, oh my god, and the ways I have to like figure my titles now, like I really have to think about shit. So I'm not just, you know, like, because people can flag your video for not having anything to do with the title, you know, because you can't have a completely different, can't just say like flowers on the.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta have matching metadata for what's in the video content.
Yeah, like you can get flagged for that, so I try to make the most peaceful yet. I mean, it's just.
I've never really gotten flagged for that, and the reason why is because I try to keep my stuff contextual. You know, I understand comedic titles.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I'll have a sarcastic title. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I noticed that, but my titles I noticed are a lot of the number one thing that will demonetize put it in the hold folder. So I've had to try to like happy joy all my freaking titles. Like if I put even LAPD in there, it's iffy. Or if I put police in my title, it's iffy. Whether it be really demonetized, like, and you know, I have to go and request a review and all that jazz. But
you know how I screwed myself?
I know that shooting, gun, bomb, anything like that, definitely never put in your title. Ever.
Oh yeah.
Or your metadata.
Yeah, I figured that one out on the hard one.
Oh sure, sure. One of the ways I screwed myself, I thought I was doing a good thing, and I was for a while, but I meta tagged a bunch of for the first couple of years I did cop watching. I meta tagged a bunch of my videos, like the first few hundred videos, in British slang terms for police officers. The reason why is because the British pound was worth more than the US dollar. So ads or stuff that served in Europe was making more money. But then, you know, 8-9 months ago when they had that ad apocalypse, Britain is super politically correct.
Yep.
So that now, like, my monetization is in the toilet because I had those hundreds and hundreds of videos.
You have to go back and retitle them or something?
No, I'm not going to mess with those. I'll just keep making more. Like, I'll just keep making more videos.
You know, like, I noticed on mine, if I tag my own name, they would get demonetized or something. So they must have, like, some weird, like, keyword bank, you know, obviously, that is added to, like, I don't know, complaining officers be like anything to do with, you know, so I have to watch my tags. I actually don't put too much tags in my videos now just because, like, one last thing to worry about for demonetization, getting demonetized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that the ads are starting to come back. Like,
Yeah, they are. I
they're
noticed on
starting to
Foxy's
come
videos,
back.
I'll see like a full ad on her video. I'll be like, woohoo, go there. I'll be happy for her.
Yeah, I've been getting like the Black Panther ads on my videos.
No
And
way.
yeah, man, I
I
liked
think
that movie. I thought that movie was cool. I really enjoyed Black
That would
Panther.
be cool. Yeah, no, I like to put my videos under entertainment, so that I get like some chill ads like that. I think
Mine's
that's,
under like news,
here-
politics.
yeah, I do that too. But like lately, I've been doing entertainment. Just
Oh, okay, guys. Here's an interesting fact. If you can designate your channel as a gaming channel, you can have it where people can subscribe and support you, where they pay a monthly fee of like $5 or something like that. It's very similar to how Twitch does their thing with subscribers. And once you get a certain amount of subscribers going, like you reach like 3 or 4 or something like that, you're able to create your own emoticons and put them, and they'll be available for them in the chat box.
Well, how do I get a cop watching channel designated as a gaming channel?
yeah, I mean, and that seems like a lot of like people donating, like they pay through YouTube Red or something. I mean, what do you mean they have to pay? I don't know.
Well, no. This is separate from YouTube Red. This is someone directly subscribing to you in hopes of supporting you. I'm not exactly sure how it works on YouTube. I know how it works on Twitch, and I suspect it's very similar to how Twitch does their system. But yes, that is a possibility because I watched the Morning Kumite. They designated themselves as a gaming channel, and they actually have sponsors.
You know what I've wanted to do for a long time is there's these horrible propaganda-laden TV shows on Netflix. They're like, about narcotics police and police this and police that. I've always wanted to sit around with 3 cop watchers or 2 other cop watchers and do mystery science theater with police propaganda. Just like pause it and talk mad shit about the people and like the cops and just turn it into, Meet the Freak comedy hour.
You know what I want to do? Like kind of like that, like a commentary on like the old cop shows. I don't know if you remember the original ones, even to the more later ones. I wanted to do like a commentary with somebody on those shows because it's like those are obviously people recording them and they know it, and they're like running behind them in alleys and shit. That like, I mean, I know that they give them a vest or something and make them sign some freaking waiver, I guess.
Sure.
But, like, it seems like those are situations where and they still violate people's rights, and like they're putting it on television and people have no idea,
Oh yeah, I would love to do that as well. Here's one of the ways that the TV show Cops added an element of censorship. They by contract give the sergeants and their command staff of any municipality they film editorial privilege. So they allow the command staff to go through and edit out by contract stuff that would not be favorable for the cops to be out there. So but still, there's still flagrant violations of rights. I've seen it on Cops a lot. Like, and you're right. People just glance over it like it's just how things are. And I found myself screaming at my TV watching Cops.
Like, why are you talking? Shut up!
Yeah. You can hear me in a lot of my videos. I'm actually like, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm saying it out loud. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You can hear me in my videos going, "Stop talking, please! You're just fucking yourself." And like, yeah.
Me too. Like even that second video in Vegas, like I literally like once because I was already having a conversation with the officer. I was like, "Fuck it." When that guy was like about to incriminate himself, I was like, "You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you do that." Like, shut up. Please shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and the cop says, "Oh, you have a lawyer over here."
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have. Okay, what a sarcastic jackass that cop was. Okay, like to know your Miranda rights, to know your Fourth Amendment right, to know your First Amendment right. That I have to be a damn lawyer. You have to be able to read.
Right.
Like 4th grade. Reading.
Yeah.
Like,
because he asked me if I was a sovereign citizen. That was funny.
Oh yeah.
Sovereign citizen bullshit.
That's okay. Cops get briefings from FBI and Joint Terrorism Task Force that sovereign citizens are a terrorist group and they're dangerous. And when cops ask you that, they're essentially calling you a terrorist. They're inferring that you're a terrorist. And if a cop ever says that to me, I've never gotten that from a cop, but if a cop ever says that to me, I'm turning it back on. I'm going, we were having a perfectly good conversation until you called me a terrorist.
Right.
You know, now I'm going to talk about your mama for about a half an hour and what I've done to her and how she likes it, and how she made a sandwich after. You know, like brought me a sandwich in bed and rubbed my feet. You know, like that's just going to happen.
TMI.
Like,
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You know what? I want to drag a sovereign citizen on here just to chat with one. I wanted to have a talk with a sovereign citizen and get the lowdown. And then maybe if I can get Mr. Medicare in here also, that would be awesome. I would love to see those two go. Just to get a sovereign citizen and Mr. Medicare in the same spot. I want to see how that would turn out.
that would be beautiful comedy. I would like to see that happen as well.
Wait, who like a sovereign citizen and who? Sorry.
Mr. Medicare, he's this guy. He's how should I put it? He's a 4chaner. He's an old fag 4chaner. He loves just if there's something that interests him, he wants to make fun of. He'll do a video on it. He's very popular. He's been around for a while. He's also known as an internet aristocrat and Billy the Anti-Bully. And as is, this guy's videos are gold. And his first comeback video was specifically about sovereign citizens. And it is hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple of sovereign citizen videos, but I wasn't aware about the terrorist point.
Yes, they're considered a terrorist group because people that were affiliated with that group did shot some cops. And if a cop ever calls you a sovereign citizen, they're basically inferring that you're a terrorist.
Okay.
And
well,
you shouldn't tolerate
know that, but I kind of figured that he was trying, because like he said like a little bit after that, like he couldn't read me, that he was trying to peg me for this, and then. But now I know, like, he was actually trying to peg me for a terrorist. Yeah. That was a bit extreme. He was trying to figure out, like, how to deal with me or how to stop me, or I'm not sure.
I would cuss them out on the spot and tell them that I have no desire to do any kind of violence, but, you know, I am going to talk about your mom for the next 4 minutes.
I don't know if that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that or if I could get away with that. I don't know how threatening that would be.
Usually if they're trying to throw that sovereign citizen thing at me, they're trying to get me to talk. So, yeah. And I'm just sitting there being silent and just screaming in the back of my head like, no, you are, every explicit about under the sun. Just in my head, I'm just, in the face, I'm just trying to keep straight face, no emotion kind of thing, just to really throw them off.
I have asked cops asked them if they've ever been filmed to death, and that's pretty funny too.
That's a good one. So, I totally, I don't know, I just, I know that like I could feel Foxy like rolling her eyes and giving me a deep breath when I said I believe in the Constitution, but I feel like it's almost like a common ground where the cops at least aren't threatened by that point. You know, like if I was like an anarchist or a sovereign, you know, something that they think that they have an immediate response to or a way to, you know, put me down or whatever. But if I can counter that with no, I believe in the Constitution, I believe. Then you know, then they keep having to figure out a strategy, you know.
Sure. Well, philosophically, I am an anarchist, but I study the Constitution and I understand it because that's the rule book that cops
they go by. Yeah,
that they go by, and they exist in this state of perpetual contradiction where those rules don't apply to them, but they can use violence and threats and coercion to force everyone else to follow those rules. Right. And you know, but philosophically, I am an anarchist. But like, you know, I'm with Foxy on that one. The whole Lysander Spooner thing and the whole.
Yeah, no, and I totally get that. I totally get that too, honestly. But I feel like I can't articulate any of that in the moment. Like I don't have it embedded in me yet.
And the cops aren't smart enough to even understand it. So why would I don't get why people try to bother giving them that rhetoric. It's like trying to talk to. It's trying to explain stereo instructions to a cat.
Yeah. Good point. and I just, you know, so I just basically try to like gear the conversation into like, okay, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. And yeah, like I believe that too, that these are the rules that they don't go by, but you know, they live by according, you know, for the rest of the people. So that's the reason why I say I have the First Amendment right and all that. But I do have a wider span of thought when it comes to the actual like government and how it works or how it doesn't work actually. So.
Sure. I mean, philosophically, I have value in the spirit of the First Amendment, in the spirit of the Fourth Amendment. I understand that there is no constitution left in any substantive way. I mean, if the government wants to screw you over, they're going to screw you over. And
Right.
there's nothing you can do about it because of the fact that we live in a society that has more laws than people.
Yeah. God. Hey, the rule book is this thick, one of these cops told us once. I'm like, yeah, so that's not a problem? Like, you don't see a problem in that? Like,
Yeah.
just open the page and pick one, huh?
If they ever invent AI cops, like if the technology gets to where every law has to be followed, they're just gonna put locks on every front door. There's gonna be a robot that just goes by and put locks on everyone's front door and put them all under house arrest. You know,
yeah, they'll be able to like electronically. Oh my god, that's such a nightmare. You're saying, oh my god, fuck that. I mean, just check out. Let's go to the moon. I don't know, like get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, like I used to live in Missouri, and there's still laws on the books that are active that haven't been rescinded that go back to slavery. Like it's illegal in the state of Missouri for more than 8 black men to congregate in a public place, and it's because of them being worried about slave revolts. You know, like what the actual, like F-bomb, like it's insulting for me to have to read that because it's disgusting and racist. But like, like what the hell? Like what's wrong with you people? And they just leave the laws there. It's like this. There's so much antiquated fat that needs to get trimmed off of this. All the municipal codes and the federal laws and the state laws. It's disturbing. Like the stuff you can find. Like sodomy laws. Like certain states define oral sex is illegal, and they call it sodomy. Which, like, what? No, I thought sodomy was butt sex. I was so confused.
Yeah, that's weird.
But like a married couple, you can't go down on your wife or your husband in many states in the United States and not have it be a crime.
Wow.
In California, if you're above the legal limit to drive, you can't legally consent to have sex. So when people go to a bar and a club and get drunk and have sex, I guess the first person to say I'm a victim is the rape victim in court. Like the consent law in California for sex is ridiculous. Like who hasn't gotten drunk and hooked up with some motherfucker they regret? I mean, like one of you, both of you technically are rapists,
yeah, both of you.
What the hell,
Yeah, that is pretty. I mean, I think that's a whole different topic, I guess, like that scenario. But I agree with it.
Weird, man. Law is weird.
It's a little
stuff.
shady, a lot shady.
Yeah. My friend Uncle Bob or Robert West, whatever you want to call him.
Oh my God! He came out? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Bob was he was in Pelican Bay prison, and I think this is California. And when he was in Pelican Bay, he knew a guy that was him and his wife were drunk and they were having sex outside behind a bar. The cops roll up on him and they charge him with rape because his wife was drunk. And he served a couple years in prison in California, like I think 2 or 3 years in prison for having sex with his wife while they were both intoxicated. Yeah. Like that's just crazy. Like it's so insane to me. But what were you saying about Uncle Bob when he came out to visit?
Oh yeah, so that was fun.
Foxy's birthday.
Oh God, you know what? It was like, oh my God. Hold on. Okay, so we were doing cop watching, and there was somebody. Oh, fuck, somebody else was with us. And I feel bad I forgot his name, but he sounds like Catman, whoever the other guy is. It's so funny. Oh, God, Foxy, what's his name? Anyway, so there wasn't too much action, so I ended up taking him to the Harbor Division, the station, and he didn't mind like driving up and then parking in the lot, which was fine because like usually Foxy and I park in Timbuktu and then walk the mile it takes to get there, like whatever. But so he pulls right in the lot. We go in and I kind of stood back because I've obviously been in there a million times. Then a couple people were at the desk. And I told him beforehand that there's this huge wall of like officer names on there. And Foxy and I had kind of joked before, but I was like, what is this, the employees of the month? And then I took a good look at it, and it actually was the fallen officers. So I was like, oh. So that was between Foxy and I. But when I took him and I had told him beforehand, he goes in there going like loud as fuck. Like, here's all the crooks that have died. And
I love Bob. Bob's
like, oh my God. I was like, whoa. I was totally unexpected. I mean, and then he went up to he went up to the desk and was kind of putting his phone like pretty close to their face and saying some. I was like, whoa! I mean, if I was,
Bob's cop so brass. I love cop watching with Bob. I mean, Bob is a cop's worst nightmare because he spent time in prison, and like they cannot intimidate Bob. The only way to intimidate Bob is to actually shoot him. Like seriously, like
yeah, he got maced and everything before, right?
Oh, Bob's a damn tank. He looks like this big fat bumbling dude, but I wouldn't mess with him. I would not mess with it. I've seen what happens when people mess with Bob physically, and it's not pretty. I'll tell you that much. It looks like this big old fat dude, you know, like
It was like the funniest. It's fun. I mean, I was totally like, whoa, well, that you said that happened. That happened. And,
Bob's one of the only people that I know out there that have the balls to say the kind of stuff to cops that I would. Like he's up there with Tom Zebra. Like when I first became exposed,
that. I don't know if he would go in and say that necessarily. I'm not saying.
Oh, I've seen him cuss them out and call them punks, call them bitches to their faces.
Very like I'm coming to the station. I'm pointing my phone at this wall and saying these are the crooks that deserve to die. Like, wow. I mean, I'm not just. I was totally like.
Is it free speech? Beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right, now that happened, and yeah.
You know what?
Entertaining as fuck.
One of my favorite videos out there on the internet, it's about police and police culture, and it's called "When Should You Shoot a Cop?" It's by Larkin Rose, and it's not about killing cops. It's about society and sociology and where we're going. But it's got a quick clickbait title. But I think the video is brilliant. And like I said, it's not encouraging people to do violence, but I highly recommend people watching the video. When Should You Shoot a Cop? It's very, very educational.
Yeah, I think I watched a part of it. Is it a long one?
It's a long one. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes long.
I skipped around it. Yeah, I don't think there's. Yeah, I liked it too. I'm getting a little distracted.
Well, it is getting towards the end, or getting close to 5, and I have to bounce out because I have a previous obligation. Bunny, would you mind if I leave like 10 minutes early? Can I bow out and run screaming?
Run screaming.
Bunny.
He's like, what? I bowed out already. Just kidding.
Oh, Bunny left us.
Hold on. I forgot. I had my damn mic on mute because I was typing away over here. Sorry. I have no problem with you bailing out early. Actually, I have no problem with us ending this early due to the fact I do have other engagements I have to deal with directly after this, and it gives me a chance to do a bathroom break and all that stuff.
Well, everybody throw their plugs in. I'll go last.
What's that mean?
Promote your stuff. Yeah, plug your channel. Yeah, do that stuff.
LaurasharkCW at YouTube.
So yeah, check out Laura's work at LaurasharkCW. And
I have a Facebook page, Laura Shark, Female Cop Watchers, I believe. Yeah, I don't keep it too much up to date, but yeah, I do see it. I do go on it.
Mike, go ahead and do yours real fast.
That's right fine, now, that's fine. I'm answering someone's question.
Well, sure. I gotta thank everybody that was in the chat room, and thanks everybody for bearing with me. I know usually I do cop watching videos or protest or, more exciting stuff, but I'm tired of cop watching. I'm tired of just making videos of cops putting people in cages and watching people on their very worst day. I want to start doing more of these talk show type stuff and these conversations with other cop watchers, because I think it's more important information. I mean, there's only so many videos of me cussing cops out I can upload till I get bored with it, So yeah, and if you're watching this on Steam It and you're not liking and upvoting and re-steaming my stuff, you're an asshole. So don't be an asshole. Share my stuff. All right, I'm done now.
Okay. As is. David Werner, Bunny Boots Inc. You guys, a good portion of you guys are watching on this. As is, I am streaming at least from my end, Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope for those that want to catch on any of those. As is, I'm currently trying to work on getting the affiliate status over on Twitch. So if you guys want to help out at some point when I'm doing a live stream, we'll trying to get that average 3 views per stream or something like that for 30 days. And I can look at the contract and see if it's a viable option for those that are doing cop watching or First Amendment auditing or testing to maybe look at Twitch as a possible revenue stream that we can latch onto and work with and maybe grow our movement in that direction too. But as is, you know, we do strategic noncompliance twice a week. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific time frame. So this way, both East and West Coast are able to go ahead and join us or have a chance to join us in a live stream and be able to ask questions, and we'll be able to answer them with our guests that we managed to squeeze on here or drag in here kicking and screaming, depending on the situation. So
Drag me in here kicking and screaming.
Not you, but I'm going to find myself a sovereign citizen. I'm going to drag one in here. So
I'm excited. I want to, yeah, that sounds like...
Yeah, I like to black bag people. I like to drive up in a white van with no windows and put a sack over their head. Yeah, the Chestermobile, you know.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for having me on here.
It's no problem. And we're not against having you guys on as future guests of the show and all that stuff. Everybody's sort of welcome, especially from doing the cop watching and First Amendment testing and auditing stuff. So
yeah, I'd be honored to have you on again.
I'd like to come on with Fox. I mean, Foxy can do her thing with you guys, but I'd like us both to come on sometime together. We always have fun.
Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah, that's easily doable. As is, we're trying to expand the learning of the tech, so this way we can better situate with more people. We'll be able to facilitate more people in these properly with no issues in volume and all that stuff, which unfortunately for me, it's like forcing monkeys to learn with a pipe wrench in my hand.